doing a random chill stream out here in the shed. Organization. Just finished supper not too long ago, so people to wander in. Make sure my live chat is on. There we go. And yeah, so all I'm doing tonight is just a little bit of screwing around. Don't have some of the tools I'd require to move some things around, so it's all going to be manual labor tonight. So you'll get to see me lift a few heavy things, move a few other heavy things, and yeah, generally try and get this shed sorted out so that I can actually get to work in here. First things first, I'm going to finish this cigarette and have my coffee while I'm waiting for people to pop in. And because I'm doing this at random and because it's an unusual hour for me to stream, I have no idea who's even going to show. But I will do my general stream process of complete a task, talk to chat, another task, talk to chat, have a smoke at some point, talk to chat. You know, the usual. But if you guys just want to come in and hang out, you're more than welcome. Anybody who has an odd question or something unusual to suggest or any number of other things, feel free. Yeah, that's it. Surprisingly, there's not a soul in here yet. I usually have quite a few by now. Oh, and I do want to point out before I go any further, I will get the shilling out of the way. So I do have a Subscribe Star. I do have a merch store on Redbubble. That'll be in the description. I do have PayPal. Feel free if you'd rather give me a one-time donation as opposed to a regular thing for Subscribe Star. If you want to get something out of your money, by all means, go for the merch. I should have some samples of some of the merch shortly, which means I should have a good grasp of how good quality it is. Other than that, you're just going to be watching me for the next little while. Yeah. Noticing my mustache looks thin on camera, but it's actually filled in. Getting a little bit of salt and ginger as well. You can see some of the white in there. You can really see it up here. It's half the reason I keep my head shaved. The other half is because this hairline is not exactly the most attractive thing in the world for me. To me. And I'm not surprised I don't have a lot of people in right now. Aiden and Spoon are currently streaming, so they will probably stream right across the top of me my entire stream. I expect this might take an hour or 2 hours. Depends on how long it takes for me to get sick and tired of it. But in the meantime, I am going to, as I said, finish my smoke, finish my coffee, and go at it. And I'll be giving you guys a long shot of the shed at this point. I'm going to be putting the camera way back in that corner towards the actual door and working from this end forward today. At least that's the plan at this point. I may start on one side, go to the other. Who knows? My general putteriness, I could end up doing any number of things. One of the first things I have to do is get some of my salvaged wood organized. I've got quite a lot, which you will see once I move the camera. But in the meantime, it is What the Fuck Wednesday. And yeah, the short that I just produced a little while ago, or released rather a little while ago, or that would have published a little while ago, would have been about the Trudeau Foundation's further ties to the Chinese regime. Because, well, hell, why not, right? If they can get away with it, why wouldn't they? That's generally the attitude of a tyrant. And yeah, I have exactly zero chill when it comes to calling Trudeau a tyrant. It's how he's behaving. It's how he deserves to be described as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I have to check something on my phone now that I'm thinking about it. I've been waiting for another tool to come in for some of the reclaimed wood. I'm waiting for a set of end nippers because pellets that are put together with spiral screw or spiral nails multiple years out, it's kind of hard to get the nails out of them. Just checking to see if I have any missed calls. I have one, but I know who that's from. And I have a new voicemail from somebody I don't recognize. So, note to those of you who happen to look at my old stuff, that phone number, the 709-701-5466, no longer works, or at least it no longer connects to my system. That was a text now number, and I've since actually graduated to an actual phone, so I no longer use it. Although I am considering trying to set up some method for people to be able to call in. And I need to turn off my notifications on my phone. Just 1 second. Because that is going to drive me absolutely batshit if I don't. Oh, and of course, Oozaloo is now streaming. So if you're watching Oozaloo and not watching me, I understand completely. And of course, the never-ending battle against notifications continues. There we are. Okay. And I am done with that. 7.5 minutes in. Coffee's almost gone. I'll just choke this down in a bit of a hurry. This is something that hasn't happened in a while. I'm over 7 minutes in, almost 8 minutes in. Not a soul. This hasn't happened in quite a while. It's interesting screeching into the void again after so long with an actual audience. But as I did promise I was going to move the camera, I will do that now. And while I'm at it, I'll change the angle. Oh, don't mind the look up my nose. Even more silver hair up there. Okay. First thing I need to do is get my garments in order. I'm dressed a little bit like a slob today, so don't mind that. I generally do anyway. Being a poor, I generally wear my clothing until they wear out. And sometimes beyond that point. Today I'm wearing a very beaten up old hoodie I've had for, goodness, did I have this hoodie when I was in school? I think I did. So that's about 5 years now. So I am moving the camera now. And if you experience motion sickness, suck it up. And get you nudged in there. Nudged in there. Oh, I do see I've got at least one person in chat. Give me just a moment. I will come back to you once I get that all sorted out. Oh, that cord isn't quite long from there. Where are we? There we are. And as I mentioned to someone on Discord earlier today, this isn't actually a webcam. This is my tablet, which is why occasionally I look at the camera, and then occasionally I look over here. Oh, hey Sasquatch, how you doing? It's not so much a malfunction as it is an inability to pay for better than I have. Now, while I've got this here, give me just a moment. I will get to chat in just a second. I'm just organizing a cord here. And I think I'm good. Okay, let's see here. How beaten up my clothes? Well, let's put it this way. If I lift the hood, you can see how faded the rest of it is. You haven't missed a thing, Kingdom. I'm actually surprised I got anybody with Oozaloo and Spoon and Aiden streaming. I'm just doing a random tonight, so it's just a chill out, watch me work a little bit sort of deal. I see I have 4 people watching, so that's great. And I did mean to mention earlier. Oh, excuse me. That's what I get for choking down my coffee too fast. I did mean to mention earlier that I'm now up to 230 subs on YouTube. 10 more, I will do another thank you vid. I'm up to 55 on Rumble. 5 more, and I'll do another thank you vid there. Let's see. Sasquatch talks about wardrobe malfunctions. Callum says, don't worry, he's not Asian. Kingdom of Inland, nothing wardrobe malfunction, nothing interesting. It's not that I don't like my hoodie. I wouldn't wear it if I didn't like it. I absolutely love this thing. It's beat up, and what's this? Kingdom says he's thinking of going to buy a gas mask or something after moving to upstate from south again. And a significant amount of loose tobacco because I smoke. I don't necessarily blame you for moving or for thinking about getting a gas mask, especially if you have any sort of breathing issues, or in case someone just sneezes in New York. Well, I mean, I can't say I blame you. With my fear would be living in southern Texas at this point of someone sneezing on me, because God only knows what kind of immunizations the Spanish-speaking illegals don't have. But not to be confused with a racist, I don't judge them simply because they're Mexican, or Hispanic, or Spanish-speaking. I judge them because they're line-jumping pieces of filth who really don't deserve to be in your country. And 2 likes, 4 watching. Awesome. Don't have any breathing issues, but I don't want breathing problems. Understandable. You probably want to avoid doing any sort of woodwork then. Now, as you can see, there's quite the clutter in here. Let's see. Starting here, this is some reclaimed wood. That bin is full of reclaimed wood. That's my chair. That's one of the workbenches I want to move. That one I want to move up this way. No, actually, I got that wrong. The corner cabinet right there is going to go turned horizontal and probably put under that section of shelving, because I was putting the miter saw there, but it's not going to stay there anymore. The miter saw and the table saw are both going to come more into this area. So where I have this wood stored right now, which is where I'm going to put all my reclaimed wood. This isn't actually a piece of, oh, it is a piece of reclaimed. Never mind. That has to go over here. This is all the stuff that I was drawing the last little while. There's a few pieces from the step that you can see in the back there. What's this? Kingdom says he doesn't have a choice in not doing woodwork because he'll have to spend most of his days cutting logs for firewood. Okay. Personally, if you find a really good tree, say yay size, you might consider cutting it down in a sawmill. Let's see. Callum says his OCD is triggering a bit, just wants to take everything out of the shed and organize the space. I understand, and that's exactly what I'm doing, is just tidying up in general. Let's see, that should be good. So, the very first thing I have to do is move a few things away from that table. Last drop of coffee is always good. And hopefully all this stuff will stay on these rather narrow shelves. Better solution, use the wider shelves. Okay. Let's see. Someone else said something, I think. No, okay. Callum just said he wanted to tidy it in general. And I completely understand. I don't like a workspace. It's been really bugging me the last little while that I couldn't get out here to clean this up. I would say I'm probably average for American. Yeah, I'm probably pushing 300. And I'm only 5'8". So, yeah. Hefty definitely describes me. Although, fortunately for me, I have neither diabetes nor high cholesterol. Oddly, considering my diet is not exactly the best. Though, modified keto probably isn't too bad for you either. Scissors. Where has my garbage can gone? There it is. Okay, and I did have one more recyclable bottle. No, I'll get that later. If you're wondering what cards are for, it actually turns out that using cards to put between the rim of a tire and the tire itself makes a really good conduit for spray painting rims without having to take them off the tire. So I'm just organizing a few things into the shelves here now, throwing out what needs to go out. What is this? Right, okay. That I can't lose, so that can go in the pocket. Mini screwdriver makes it, or mini chainsaw makes an appearance. All I'm doing right now is clearing off this table, the small one here, so that when I start clearing off other spaces, I'll have space to work and move around and put away my... That lighter still works. That can go there for now. Okay, I need a rag. There we are. And you guys can't see the floor, but there's quite a lot of curls and shavings on the floor at the moment because I was doing a little bit of hobby craft combined with testing the quality of some of my reclaimed wood. Some of the wood I have is obviously from pallets. That's getting the chroma blown out constantly up at that point. Let me see. Maybe I should change the camera angle. Okay, let's put this against this door. Okay. Let's start with these few pieces of wood. Anyway, as I was saying, quite a bit of the wood that I have has been reclaimed from pallets, as you can tell by the blue on this. And that stuff, once it's dried, seems to be very, very good, but somewhat in need of, how would I put it? Somewhat in need of, well, it needs some more work before it's usable. For example, some of the stringers, the really thick pieces that run the length of the pallet, some of them have metal caps tapped into them. Getting those out is a bit of a challenge. It's not really hard. It's just tedious. Getting the nails out, on the other hand, I did have to go and buy a new set of, or a new tool, which is a set of end nippers. Let's see. Callum is asking about his work that he's posted on Discord. I'm not aware of what you're talking about, Callum. If you want to give us a little bit of detail, that'd be great. Kingdom asks if I would be interested in having an AK of some kind. A guy on a Discord server I know wants an AK-12. I don't think I'd go for a 12. I respect the history, but I'd probably go for something closer to an AKM. Given that Brandon Herrera just did his AK-50 update, I'd definitely go for one of those. The Malyuk, I definitely would not go for. That, I'm not even sure if that's AK pattern. I know it's bullpupped, which gives me shivers. But yeah, I don't think I'd go for the Malyuk either. Definitely not an AK-12. Potentially an AKM. I wouldn't even mind having an old school AK-47. Given my choices, given any choice of anything on the AK platform, I'd probably take a Saiga shotgun and a oh goodness, what's it called? Is it SRS? I know it's a Dragunov by name, the sniper rifle. I'd use that for hunting though. Oh, Callum's talking about the Battletech minis he's finished painting. Got a full Merc company assembled. Is that the thing you were talking about calling it the Black Horse Regiment? If it is, Aces, looks good to me. But then I'm not a big Warhammer guy, so. And yes, I am in fact just sweeping everything out of sight under the tables for now, because I just want a clear workspace to walk on. And I do intend to sweep this most likely tonight while I'm doing this. And Mr. Bucket can come over here. Now, need to get, excuse me, those boards off of that table so I can move that table. That's going to require some rearrangement of this room, this area. So, Mr. Vacuum, Mr. Shopvac, and that's branded Shopvac, if I recall correctly. That comes over here. This box of tiny bits comes over here against the box of bigger bits. Ouch. And that's my reminder to put on gloves. Oh. I do apologize for the rather mucosal noises. It is somewhat dusty in here, and I do still suffer from what amounts to a dust allergy. Oh, and I see someone commented something while I was putting my gloves on, of course. Alpha Company 3rd Battalion, awesome. Prime Knight says hello. And the Malyuk isn't necessarily an AK conversion, but it uses some AK parts, can use AK-74 12 style mags. Also, apparently, semi-auto version of the Malyuk is designated as a hunting rifle. I have to be honest, the idea of a bullpup hunting rifle kind of disgusts me. I just have this flash of trying to hunt with a Steyr AUG, and it's just weird. That piece can go there. These 4 pieces, which are rotting and are only suitable for platforms on the ground, are going to go over here. And I do realize you guys can't actually see what I'm doing right now. But don't worry, that will shortly change. Okay, now, aforementioned spray paint, and that's what's in here as well. The makes it easier to huff the fumes. Just kidding, don't huff paint. That's a bad choice. Well, something has gone horribly wrong. Okay, this paint is settled a little bit. So I'm going to get this stuff limbered up. It was fairly cheap. It's Krylon, so I have no idea how well this is going to work. The good thing about it is it's going to be used on the inside of a set of rims where it won't show. The Tremplad, the last little bit of which is there, that was used for the outside of the rims, put on a really nice coat, nice and even, very easy to apply. Well, not very easy, but if you know what you're doing, it's easy enough. Unfortunately, my training as a cabinet maker also included finishing and coatings, so I do actually know how to put a coat of paint down on something. So those will rest there for now. Get that recyclable bottle back up out of there. This dustpan, which has no practical use, is going to have to sit somewhere out of my way. I think that's going to be up here. That will do. Actually, no, it won't. Come on, you miserable bastard. Let's see if I can't bend you. Okay. Nope. What I'm hoping to do here with this is just to bend it so that the handle comes up straight without breaking off. I think I'm going to end up cracking paint before I manage that. Let's find out. So that started well. Let's see how it ends. Okay, you miserable fucker. Let's see how you do out of the vise. And that's hoping not to damage my vise in any way. A little more, I think. Okay, that should be good. So the point of that was to turn that from horizontal to vertical, so that I can take this old handle and connect it. And there we go. And what I'll do now, when I get a moment, is I'll take a couple of self-tapping screws, or possibly self-tapping bolts, and put through here and here, here and here, and I'll have myself a nice little carryable dustpan, which means it'll eliminate some of the bending in here, which, given all the various projecting surfaces, can be a little damaging. I've probably got a scar on the back of my head from at least one cabinet, so that will go over here for later. And we'll continue clearing off this table. First things first, let's get this box of this is a mix of reclaimed and harvested wood. Some of this is the juniper. Some of it, like this piece, is some of the juniper from the trees I harvested a couple of years ago that I was attempting to make flutes out of for my buddy Cass. If you guys remember the flute debacle. Okay. Rope. That counts as reclaimed. Come here. And I am slightly organizing it. I have essentially two categories. One is clean reclaimed, which means it's stuff that I don't have to do a lot of extra work with. And the other is not so clean reclaimed, which I'll have to do some processing with before I can use it. Okay, let's do this using what we like to call the right way. Now, just tucking this up here till I get a chance to actually work on this sign. That is, in fact, the template for the Dresden Files Accorded Neutral Territory sign that I've been talking about for a while. Oh, screw you then, since I'm down here. Let's see. Sheet material, I think, next. No. This stuff. This is all solid wood, yes. This piece needs to be trimmed lightly, and this piece needs to be trimmed lightly. And this piece requires no trimming. Good. Okay, that should come over and sit right behind there, nice and neatly. Yes. There we are. Anyway, as I was saying, actually I've forgotten completely what I was saying, which isn't surprising. Let's see. Get a lighter and warm it. Crow is in. Hello, Crow. Calls me sweetheart. I wouldn't take that from any other man. Bullpups are a bit of an oddity. Yes, indeed. Will I put up some of Stormy's artwork in the shed? I have a piece of artwork from one of Stormy's kids up. If I get somewhere where I figure I can keep it clean and safe, I will absolutely put up a piece of Stormy's work. I think she does absolutely awesome work. She thinks of it as a hobby, doodling. Let's see. Kingdom says he doesn't think the semi-auto Malyuk actually is a hunting rifle. It's just odd that it's designed as one by IPI on their website. Also, I can see bullpup being useful in moving in brush. Yes, I could see a bullpup being handy in brush. I'm just too much of a traditionalist to enjoy it. Callum suggests I get a lighter and warm it. I assume you're talking about the metal dustpan, which didn't need to be warmed up, just needed to be leaned on real good. Let's see. Kingdom's not certain to go with the loadout for the Malyuk. It has an idea to go for a modern Rus 4 Kami block style aesthetic with it on a 1P87 optic and AK-12 mags. I could see that. Callum wants to know why he's not going to use iron sights. Kingdom says he thinks Ukraine could use, I assume, gain a lot of money by selling AK-12 mags they've captured to the American civilian market. A lot of money to be made out of that. Crow says he doesn't remember anything about any flute. I think there were 3 different attempts. And hi, Blackout. Crow, I think there were 3 different attempts I made to... oh, sorry about that. That tells you how tanned I am. That's a tan. Because that's not. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, I made 3 different attempts to make a flute out of juniper limbs. Didn't work, mostly due to my own, in one case at least, impatience. And let's see. D. Jeff says, yo, hi, D. Jeff. Just cleaning my shed and talking about my curls. Yes. Callum says, or sorry, Kingdom responds to Callum talking about the Malyuk irons. Let's see. Crow says he's been off for the week. Has he hurt his back again? Okay. Total blackout has an appointment with a chiropractor. I actually have to get my glasses replaced. I was, I would say showing off, but that's not quite appropriate. I was joking around with Stormy, making a joke for Stormy, and had my glasses sitting in my collar, and thumped myself in the chest, and well, let's just say plastic and heavy thump doesn't go well together. So I have a lens popped out, and I need to go and get my glasses replaced in the next near future. Fortunately for me, it's been a while since I had one, so I should be able to. I'm hoping my prescription hasn't changed enough to require new lenses. The lenses are still in reasonably good shape, so let's see. Callum says it doesn't make him feel good about the rifle to flip up irons. If its own basic sights are rubbish, doesn't do the rifle any good. Absolutely agree. Callum says to Crow that he cut himself today doing some miniature work right under one of your nails. Oh, God, I hate doing that. I was actually remembering one of my most painful accidents that I've had. This thumb, I was reaching for something in school in my tool cabinet and just brushed a chisel that I had just sharpened and gouged in about a 1/4 inch straight down in that direction. Not a lot of fun. There was much swearing and screaming. Well, much swearing, not so much screaming, but a lot of bitching and moaning, to say the least. Let's see. Callum is sympathizing with Crow. Yes, I saw that. Blackout says his back is so fucked he doesn't want to paint. Stuff like your back, it's one of those things you've really got to take care of. You know, if you can manage to change your posture so that your posture is corrected. One of the things that makes me look a little taller than I am is that I do tend to suck my gut in a little bit and engage my core and my back and the top of my glutes when I'm standing. Another thing that I had to learn to do was not do this. Was not shift on my feet. When I stand, I try to stand rock steady, and I found that that's really good for my back. And plus, I stretch and things of that nature fairly often. Yoga is not a bad choice either. If you take your time about it, don't try to outdo anybody. Let's see. Callum says he's got 3 boxes of shit he needs to finish painting, but he needs to give his back a rest. Really annoying. Kingdom, to be fair to Callum, to be fair, it's mostly going to be using optics. So irons aren't really a big issue nowadays. Well, the problem with that is what happens if you drop the rifle and your optic is fucked. Let's see. Crow says he wishes he could afford to fly out for drinks. Yes, I am, in fact, a very pasty individual. This is, in fact, a tan. Like, I'm not kidding. I am very, very pale. But if Crow, if you could afford to fly out for drinks, we'd all be trying to, well, pester you into getting us all citizenship in the States. Let's be real. Let's see. It would be nice to chill out, though. Yeah, you're right. Naproxen told you to rest. Naproxen is good. Make sure you drink a lot of water because it's very bad for end of digestion issues, we'll say. So we don't NHS for the win. Yeah, well, I've come to the conclusion that a lot of modern medicine is really just it's conducted at the expense of common sense in a lot of cases. Let's see. Kingdom says the irons on the Malyuk he thinks are at least okay, but for more, it's not that the irons are bad, it's just lack of information on that specifically. Fair enough. Callum says Crow sounds average. Well, I'll get the same treatment for her enough. Yeah, I mean, Canada's healthcare system is no real amount better. Let's see. Kingdom asks, do I agree that Malyuk would look good with AK-12 mags? Honestly, I don't know. And Hello says ladies love cars. Well, that might be part of the reason they love me, because between my hands, my face, and, well, my arms and my face, mostly. I have scars for days. I lived a very full life before I ever got out of my teens. To Kingdom's question about the Malyuk looking good with AK-12 mags, I don't know enough about the Malyuk. I can't really draw it to mind from memory. Blackout says he had to walk with a cane a few years ago. His back hasn't been the same since. Oh, and Crow wants to know how he could get me citizenship in the States. Well, it's simple. You move to the States, get citizenship, and then sponsor me. Or marry me. No. But I think quite a lot of us in the Sultans clique, circle, whatever, we would all be happier if we lived somewhere with actual free speech and gun rights. And, you know, pay-to-play healthcare system. Especially considering those of us who come from not pay-to-play healthcare systems are very aware that the money we're putting out in taxes is not what we're getting back in return. Who am I marrying in the States to get citizenship then? Bleach? Good. Shade Master? No, wait, he's already married. Bleach is on the market, though. Let's see. Not sure Maureen would approve Jonathan marrying you or... This is true. Maureen may have a problem with it. Though Maureen may be in a minute to argue the point. Let's see. Let me move some more of this stuff. This is all sheet good now, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And this is almost entirely plywood I have to move now. That stuff. I'm actually going to go somewhere different for a minute until I have room for it over there. Pieces. Two white pieces. This piece I expect will end up being divided into fours and used for stands for various tools. I have at least two tool stands that I have to build. One for the grinder that's here, and one for this. Or sorry, let me rephrase. I had to build at least three. I had to build one for this grinder, one for this sander, and one for this drill press. Now the one for the drill press needs to come up about 3 inches from where it is right now. Let's see. I see the comments about Maureen have continued. Crow says, who knows, everyone can marry Maureen so she doesn't feel so alone. It's true, she'd probably love to have a harem of willing young men. And me. She might have to fight Stormy for me. Let's see. Kingdom wonders how the Steyr AUG would have fared in Vietnam. I don't think it would have done well. From what I recall of some of the testing I've seen, it didn't do really well at all when it got dirty. Maureen is supposed to be UK bound again sometime soon. Awesome. Callum says to Kingdom of Vinland, better than the M16 bloody keck thing. Okay. Callum asks if Maureen is Dutch. She is in fact Bog German, yes. Blackout says Crow should go to Idaho. You guys can get gay married, then you can adopt me and Stormy. Hey, that's your plan. Biz is going to be pissed. Yes, I would in fact be, well, I did say young and willing. Knowing that Stormy will quite possibly eventually watch this, I'm not going to be stupid enough to say I'd be willing, let alone young. And besides, until I know otherwise, I'm going to assume Maureen is not a chubby chaser. Okay, let's get garbage can over here out of the way. And where have I placed broom? There's broom. Okay. Will that? Yes, excellent. I have somewhere to store that now. Good. I keep finding pieces of wood I didn't know about. I love that. Okay. I'm half tempted. Oops. I'm half tempted to break out my my new machete for you guys, but I think I'll avoid that at the moment and just trim things with a saw. And I should rephrase that to newly acquired as opposed to new. One of my neighbors gave it to me, as he no longer has for it, and was aware that I do occasionally go into the woods to collect wood. And there are lynx, coyote, and bear sightings in this area from time to time. Come on, you under-aggressive son. There we are. Garbage. All I'm doing right now is just rough trimming off the really splintery parts of this piece. Ow. Didn't need all that flesh on my finger anyway. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm just cleaning off the really splintery end on that one piece, because that will most likely end up being used as edging at some point, and it wouldn't do to stab myself handling it. Lord knows I've had enough splinters in my life at this point. That's actually a good question for you guys, actually. What's the worst splinter story you guys have, if you have one? Let's see here. Move that slightly to one side. I have a couple more pieces of small sheet material to deal with. Let's see. That answers that question. Idaho. ITs. I understand, Crow. I'm just joking around too. Callum Dayton, Kingdom says, Callum, the Malik is in the VR game. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Hot dogs. Okay. I thought it was hen's eggs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. But let's see. Total Blackout says, on that note, my homie just told me the date he set up over Facebook trying to be a dude. Didn't tell him they were trans until a few minutes ago, 45 minutes before their date. Oof. At least they told him ahead of time. I will give them that much. Let's see. Crow says, at least Wood isn't finding pieces of you I didn't know about. It didn't know about. Fair. Let's see. Kingdom of Finland. Callum says he doesn't have VR. Gaming rig is still screwed. Don't want a headache because I'm not gay. Okay. Some oh shits about the... Not that kind of edging, Crow. Some oh shits about the tranny guy. Let's see. Kingdom says, if I lose something when woodworking, you can just replace it with a cybernetic replacement. And Total Blackout says his son loves that game, hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. The reason I bring up hen's teeth is because here in Newfoundland we have an expression. Close only counts in hen's teeth, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Or horseshoes, hand grenades, and hen's teeth. And yes, there is no such thing as hen's teeth. Like chicken lips. Now, that stuff is good. That stuff needs work. So that's got to come out of there. Just to show you guys what I'm talking about the metal caps. These things, they're fairly easy to peel off, but they're just a bit of a pain in the ass. I'll probably peel those off when I'm done putting everything else into that pile before I put those back on top. Because these lovely little pallets still have some nails in them. Quite a few of the nail heads broke off while I was trying to remove them. Hence the reason I ordered a set of end nippers for the extra leverage. This can come back over here, I think, for now. Okay. And yeah, after so many nail heads broke off, I just kind of gave up on removing nails. So all of those are going to get removed with end nippers as well. And that one has nails. Now, does that one have... It does have a metal end cap on it still, doesn't it? I think. No, it doesn't. Okay. Good. Then that one can actually stay in there. And I need to start taking pieces out of there. Okay, that's sheet good, so that stuff can stay there. These pieces I would like to be able to put up there, but I have some things in the way, so that's not going to happen. Okay. This will work better if I simply lay those there, get them out of the way. What I have here is some of the really big planks from the pallets. These I'm going to probably plane down, and depending on how wide that sign is, these pieces end up being turned into some of those signs. So if you know a Dresden Files fan, who isn't Trim, because Trim is pretty much called one already, but if you know a Dresden Files fan who might like one of the Accorded Neutral Territory signs made by someone who is actually a fan themselves, then let them know that I'm working on it. Pricing to be determined. No nails in that. Is there nails in that? I don't know. I have to do a quick check here and make sure there's no nails in these few pieces I have in the corner here. I think there might be in some of them. Yes. Okay. These pieces had to come out and be dealt with in short order. So you will get to see me remove some nails tonight, which will be slightly more exciting than watching me move around, do nothing but moving things. But as I said, I did get pretty lucky with some of the wood I found from the pallets. So I've got quite a substantial amount of stuff to build things out of. Signage, jewelry boxes, things like that. Oh, speaking of jewelry boxes, if Crow is still here, did you end up making any jewelry boxes afterwards? Let's see. Crow says, "Where's Maureen when you bring up edging?" Not that kind of edging again. Worst, Callum said the worst he had was a 3 centimeter splinter that got under his skin, but half an inch down on his finger. Spent around 20 minutes trying to get it out. Crow says he never did get his Etsy account reinstated. Why was your, if you don't mind me asking, why was your Etsy shut down? Total Blackout says that's him. He's the target audience for that sign. Another Dresden Files fan. Awesome. Let's see. Got to set up a selling website. Another whole ordeal. Yeah, it's irritating. And Crow says to get hot foil printed boxes, it costs £100 plus for 50. Good God. That's insane. Is that cardboard or is that actual wood? And Crow says he never got told. Hang on. I literally only just made it in the same week permaband. Christ. Yeah, I looked at Etsy and I thought, no, I'm not going to do Etsy. If I end up having to sell anywhere other than through my own email, cardboard, oh God, that's insanely expensive. But if I end up having to sell anywhere than through my own email and through these streams, what I'm going, and if I can't sell something local, obviously, if I end up having to do that, I'm probably just going to set up another eBay account. I found eBay easy enough to deal with. I actually used to work for an eBay subcontractor, so I kind of understand the system still. And yeah, Blackout said the same. Sell on eBay. No. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this piece on top here, with all this blotching. It may be some sort of staining or some sort of dry rot, some sort of chemical. I have no idea, and I won't know until I run it through some processes. But I'm curious. There. I'm just about done clearing this particular table off as far as the pallet wood goes. Oh, interesting. You got to sit back there. And these two pieces will join you. Come on, come on, out you come. Okay, there we are. Okay, that is as good as that's going to get. Now, the bottom here, I have, it's half a dozen small pieces. This is what's left from when I used the mini chainsaw, or the chainsaw attachment, I should say. Oh, fuck you. Of course you won't want to balance. And one piece falls. Okay, make that two. That stays there. Let's get this organized a bit better. Okay. And this piece that fell over needs to come the fuck back out of there before it gets lost in the switch. There we are. Whew. That was slightly exhilarating. These pieces do belong up there. Do I have room to put them up? Should. I think. Two long ones. Okay. A few pieces have to come down out of that. Okay. My hickories. Piece of bamboo. This piece of bamboo I'm planning to turn into a walking stick, by the way, just to see how well I can do that. It's cheap dollar store bamboo, but seems to be pretty good. These, being hickory, are anything but cheap, because hickory does not grow in Canada, or at least does not grow in Newfoundland. But to quote a very wise man, there's nothing like a nice piece of hickory. And Callum asked me if I'm going Asian. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. No. No, not going Asian, but more along the lines of looking at ways to expand my skills. Probably be the best way to describe that. Now, is that going to fit up there without hitting anybody in the head? Who matters? Can I get one more piece up there? I cannot. Can I sit in front of that? No, you won't. Okay. Well, since you don't want to sit in front of it, you can sit on top of it. That's jammed up there pretty good. Actually, that looks safe enough. It's not coming down. Let's see what Chad had to say. I'm going to be taking a short break here pretty quick, I think. Taste the Matrix is in. Nice to see you. Let's see. Taste the Matrix pops in, says, hey there, making anything cool? Not actually making anything tonight other than less of a mess. I'm just sorting out my shed a little bit. And Blackout says, Etsy has only really cost me money. Yeah, from what I understand, a lot of people get shafted. Take my Redbubble merchandise, for example. I know over $100 US has been sold, and I think I'm getting about $12 out of that, which is unfortunate, but I try to keep my markup as low as I can because, well, I know what it's like to be a poor. But multiple revenue streams, hopefully. Let's see. Crow says, I don't know, eBay doesn't seem like the best place to sell jewelry to me, but I never use it. If you're selling jewelry, the best with that on eBay is to go with a reserve. Like, know exactly how much you actually want for it, what the minimum is that you'll take for it, and set that as your reserve. The downside of that is it can cost you if you don't get a bid. And eBay now has this offer system, which is cringe as fuck, but it is what it is. Let's see. The Vepr. Oh, Kingdom of Vinland talking about bullpups from the Soviets, or the Ukraine rather. Vepr. And they had Ukrainian-made Tavors and now have the Malyuk. I seem to recall having seen one fairly new bullpup. I think it was US made, which seems to have solved the trigger issue with bullpups with that long trigger pull. And yeah, I can understand how that would be something people would be trying to avoid. Let's see what we got here. That is cleared. Need to clear off the top of that now. Let's sort out my sheet goods. Okay, all my sheet stuff is over there anyway, so this can just go over there for now. Okay, what has nails in it? That has nails in it. Okay, that one's got nails. This one has a nail. Okay. You guys get to see me use a new tool that you don't see very often tonight. My nail punches. And they're going to go over here on this box for now, because I'm not doing that just yet. And of course, I'm sure some of you are wondering, why would you try to save a piece that is this badly splitting? Because as bad as this is, I can still use it to make small things, pendants, things like that. I wonder if I can knock that out as it is. There you go. And just to illustrate how easy it is to pull one of these, it's very, very rusty, which I'll show you my arm against it to give you the idea. This should be shiny gray, and it's very much not. And just to show you how easy it is to take the nail heads off, these are generally put in with machines, and you can see how very, very saddled that is just from, and that's a very light pull that got. Let's see. Crow says cheers. I take it you're taking off. Have a good night, Crow. What is it, like midnight where you are, I think? I'm not surprised. I'd be wanting to sleep at that hour too. But then I'm an old man, so what are you going to do? Let's see here. Okay, nails in that. Nail sets. How better than nails in this one? One there. One there. Okay. Okay, so just one nail in that one. Oh, that's a knot, not a nail. Good. It's only half a knot, too, for that matter. Okay, so 2 small nails there. Those will punch out fairly easily. Fortunately, most of the nails that I have to take out are probably, look like anyway, I didn't cut them off. I did use a hacksaw to cut some, but definitely not any of these. Yeah, these look like they were damaged at the factory when they were put in. So either somebody new operating the machine who didn't know how to set tolerances, or the machine may have been firing a little harder than it should have been for some other reason. Any more nails in that one? Don't see any from this side. Flip. Oh, yeah, okay. There's a couple of buried ones in there. Normally, one of the things I might do instead of actually trying to get the pieces out, get the nails out, is just 10 likes and only 4 views. Awesome. Nice to see everybody giving me likes. Thank you so much. What's this? February. Oh, Kingdom says, hang on. Good luck, Crow. Oh, okay. Kingdom says the Weber was created in 03 after a request from, of all places, Ukraine's space agency. Why? Don't know. I still think it's cool. Most likely the Ukrainian space agency wanted something compact and easy to carry in space and light. Let's see. Crow says, honestly, shutting the company down sounds like a relief. Cheers means thank you. Oh, okay. I've always thought it meant also goodbye. I guess I was wrong. Sometimes you just need a change. Yeah. So you're thinking about shutting down your cleaning company, Crow? It's not necessarily a bad idea if you need a change, but I will give you the standard dad advice of hopefully you've got something to fall back on. But hell, you know, you're young enough, going back to school is always an option as well. Get a trade even if you wanted to. I'd absolutely recommend that to pretty much everybody. I think I must have missed what you said, indeed, yes. Oh, you lost your largest client. Oh, that sucks. A corporate client, I assume, or something. But yeah, I definitely hope you pick somebody up. I'm trying to post flyers to recover. Okay, so anybody who knows anybody in Britain, tell them to contact Jonathan Crow and get him to clean their business. Do it now. Okay. Since that is actually cleaned off and these weigh next to nothing, that can go down there. I am going to check the power on my tablet, and I may simply unplug it and move it rather than moving the plug. Okay, it's only 27%. Okay, let's get you properly unplugged and moved. You guys get to come over with me while I have some water and a smoke. How long have I been streaming anyway? Hour and 10. Yeah, that's about good. I smoke about once every hour and a half or so. Of course, talking like this tends to make me want to smoke more. Come on. Come on. Okay. Oh, you're up by the light right now. There we go. Let's get you guys over to the chair. And get me in the chair. Oh. I'll wipe my sweaty brow before I sit. Let's see. I think we're probably good there for that angle. I need to sit the fuck down. Oh, wait. Got my water. Oof. Perfect. Well, almost. Just a little adjustment. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it was a mention. Okay. You know, if nothing else, Crow, you have some excellent experience now in running a business. And that sort of experience you can't pay for. You can't buy an education in running a business. So, I mean, that's definitely a bonus there. Let's see what we got here. And Crow says his business has done nothing good for his finances or his relationship. Things don't improve. Pretty sure there will be a large amount of people who are everything. Yeah, I mean, right now, me and Stormy are looking at possibly moving in together. Unfortunately, because she lives an hour from where I live, it means that this shed can't go with me. So we've had to put that plan on hold because this is where I can actually make money-ish. And if I were to move without some sort of financial support, I would feel like I wasn't doing my part. Crow says he's thinking of going to uni and studying film. I don't know what the British film environment is like, but if it's anything like California, and I imagine it probably is, you're going to be a lot happier not doing something like that, especially with your conservative views. That's not to say you shouldn't, just, you know, trying to give you a heads up. And relationship is rough as well. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it as well. And relationships aren't easy, man. They never are. And like it's one thing to be in a relationship when you're in your teens and your early 20s. It's quite another once you start moving towards 30 and that biological clock starts banging. And don't fool yourselves, guys. Even guys have that biological clock. Mine was ringing like a gong for quite a few years. And Crow is right. There is no better way to get connections in the industry. I don't know if this is an option for you or not, but because you've done work as an extra, is there any way to kind of get into that field, into the field that way? And Crow says he wants a family, his partner isn't ready. Well, I mean, when Stormy and I got together, I wanted a family, but Stormy already has one and isn't able to have any more. So, I mean, I've in a sense, I'm kind of following the bonus dad role or the stepdad role, I suppose. But I mean, I love her kids, so I wouldn't trade what's going on now for the possibility of something else. And no, not really for the connections. Yeah. Honestly, I really wish I had some advice to give you. The few things I can think of probably wouldn't work for you. I don't know how close you are with the rest of the Lotus Eaters crew. I know you and Disco are friendly. But then again, Disco and everybody, Sultans are friendly, so. But then, like I say, there's no real connection to the film industry through through Lotus Eaters either. Goodness. I hate to tell you, but you may have, if you really want to get into film, you're probably going to have to get, you're probably going to have to subject yourself to the meat wagon, meat market sort of audition and stuff like that. Well, I don't know exactly what it is you're looking to do. Like, if it was me, I'd be wanting to do things like set building or possibly acting. Uh, but I'm not willing to compromise my morals to do that. I'm sure you're not either. Uh, but if I were to find, say, an independent filmmaker who was looking for somebody just to do a few different things, and I have friends, or have had friends in the past, I should say, who did things like Star Trek fanfic, and when the Prelude to Axanar debacle happened, and Paramount basically told everyone who was making fanfic that they were in danger of being sued because they were making better quality content than Paramount, better Trek than Trek. That kind of put a kibosh on that. This was pre-COVID, and at the time I was planning to at least temporarily relocate to the state to help them build their studio. They had acquired a massive warehouse building. As far as I know, they ended up not really getting too far with that. Let's see. Crow says he barely talks to any of them, not even Disco. Yeah. Let's see. Callum says at least he can pray for you. If you need someone to vent at, he's happy to help. Doing the same for a friend coming over in a couple of days now. Yeah, and I mean, everybody needs someone to vent to that they can trust. No offense to you, Callum, but it should be someone, how to put it, local, physically able to be present. Because trying to do things, even trying to get nuance across in this manner sometimes is difficult. It's no good sucking Weinstein's tiny member unless you're planning to go to jail. And as I understand, it's not so much tiny as it is deformed. Try just getting a job video editing, maybe directing and acting. You know, I'd love to be able to pay somebody to do some editing on my videos, because I know there are some real gems in there, and we've actually talked briefly about this offer that I had from a company that kind of came out of nowhere, and what they're saying is good, but I'm leery, and I'm waiting to hear back from, I'm hoping to hear back from a couple of people that they claim as clients and see what those people say before I consider, well, not so much approaching them, they approached me, but before I consider agreeing to work with them, because it's kind of off-putting that someone with as low a subscriber count as I have, at 230, would be approached by what I would expect to be a fairly high-level video editing group. And directing and acting. I mean, I do have the dream to eventually finish a screenplay. I've got a bunch of different ideas in my head, a lot of them comic book inspired, and I think if I were willing to sit down and actually spend the time, which I do plan to do this winter, I planned to do it last winter, it didn't work out that way, but one of the things I do plan to do is start doing more writing again. I love writing, and that's not scripting. I can't fucking script one of these for my life. I've tried so many times. But yeah, acting, I mean, I'm a natural performer, so. Blackout says new Trek is ass. Yes. Actually, you're wrong, because they haven't made any Trek since Enterprise. Let's see. Video editing. Callum Dayton says could get good experience string funny clips together for the Sultans when they start gaming together again. It's an option. Callum says he knows what I mean. Problem is, dude is working in Ireland. He's from South Africa. Sounds like Spoon. And I'm not traveling south for hotter weather where I'd melt for personal counseling help. Fair. Just post Andrew Tate clips. Oh, God. I saw one of those today, and the first thing that came to my mind was dislike, you fucking piece of shit. But what he was saying was obviously being parroted from someone wiser. And it made it seem like he was producing this thought, and it was very clear that this guy was not. He's just parroting something he heard that he thinks will play well. Like a broken clock, a hypocrite can be right once in a while. Crow says, I need to put together a proper portfolio of his work. I have 8 years experience editing. Wow. Started learning DaVinci recently. Have no way to show off my experience without a portfolio. Fair. Blackout says, actually, since DS9. Well, if we ignore the Woman Won't Ask Questions series, I actually really did like Enterprise. Some episodes of Voyager were half decent. Mostly the ones that didn't have Janeway in them a lot. And the Harry Kim Must Suffer meme is still a good thing. I just think it's wrong that they basically decided that, oh, let's not make the Irishman suffer in this series. Let's make it the Asian. Let's see. Last season of Picard was amazingly good. I haven't given Picard a chance. Callum says it's not Spoon. Dude isn't posh enough. I've heard Spoon speak without his accent. He's not that posh. Janeway was great. Yes, Janeway was irritating. And I don't blame Kate Mulgrew. I blame the writers. Excuse me. Crow says he had to go on antidepressants last November as he was suicidal. That's a terrible spot to be in mentally. I've been there myself. That's where some of my scars come from, actually. He says he's not really in any better position now. The unsteady relationship is testing. Yeah. I really don't want to give you any sort of relationship advice through this particular medium because it's so public. So, Crow says the first 2 seasons of Picard are awful, but the last season completely rewrites the first 2. Is it worth watching just the 3rd season, or do I need to know the garbage that happened in the first 2? Speaking of garbage, is Discovery in any way worth watching? Because I'm considering it at this point, just for the same reason that I consider Kenobi, because I just want the extra world building. Kenobi was, I think I'm into I don't think I even got out of the first episode yet, and I've tried it like 3 times. It's terrible. And it's absolutely lore-breaking. A farewell to Picard that is far better tribute than the films were. Awesome. Yeah. So I'm almost on this. I'm going to have to move a few more things, get that table out of there. Yeah, I really need to be able to move some things out of the shed to really do this. Let's see. Crow says you can technically ignore the first 2 seasons. The only difference is you won't know all the characters, but some characters are droll. He says my relationship advice is use more tongue. No, my relationship advice is hum the Imperial March. You'll understand. Blackout says the best thing you can do with new stuff is ignore it. Probably. Let's see. Callum says, if Conby was hard for you... Oh, Kenobi. How do you think I got through Rings? I don't know. And honestly, I don't understand how you bothered. It's kind of like Wheel of Time. When Amazon did that fucking Wheel of Time series, I managed to beat Az's number by about double, possibly triple. I think I got an entire 18 seconds into the show before I went, yeah, fuck this. That show made the absolutely horrible mistake of starting with no prologue whatsoever. Okay, what have we got? Anything? Crow's just having a laugh. That's good. If nothing else, if you can laugh, you're probably not doing too bad. Callan says he's been thinking about checking Wheel of Time, but I need to save my strength for Rings. I need to do more. Do not subject yourself to Wheel of Time. I've said it before about hate watching. Don't hate watch anything. Do not hate watch. Hate watch just gives them clicks and encourages them. These people need to understand that their ESG score doesn't matter if the fans don't give a fuck. Where did I put my gloves? Where did oh, they're over there. Okay. Now, need to check the time of day, which means I need to flick that down. It's 8:45 my time. Okay. I'll probably go another hour or so at this. Oh, I just discovered I have a junk box right there. Lovely. Holy crap, the chroma. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see here. Grab this. This will go over here. Out of the way for now. Probably. Oh, more sheet stuff. Lovely. You can come down. And we'll go over here with the rest of the sheet stuff. No, you won't. You'll go right back where you were because you might as well be up there. And I might actually put some of that short sheet stuff up there too. Yeah, actually I think I will. No, I won't. Okay, anything been said that I need to check? That's the main reason I made a point of watching Night's Watch reviews of it. Yeah, for quite a while I was watching Nerdrotic stuff, but I got to the point where it was almost completely stuff that I knew they hate watched, and I just didn't want to watch it. Blackout says Upper Echelon made a good video about hate watching. If you want to drop a link to that in chat, that'd be awesome. You do have the wrench. Let me see. Where do I want to put this time? Okay, I need to move some chairs out of the way. Come here, folder. I know most people love folding chairs. I absolutely fucking hate them. This is one I had out here for Stormy. Okay. Let me see. I need to be able to get out of the shed. So, let's get this thing up out of here. This can come over here. I just discovered some plastic I don't know the origin of. 3G unlocks. Oh, okay. It's an unlocked phone that I bought probably months ago. More garbage thrown away. Okay. I'm going to rotate said camera. And you guys can watch me do a little bit of work with some tools on that table. Crow says, ironically, it's the same attitude with voting. Don't, it just encourages them. My thinking with voting right at this point, because we have Trudeau, my thinking is if the next time we have an election, it looks like there was any sort of shenanigan, I'm just done with voting. It'll be pointless. Excuse me. Blackout says voting will continue to be a joke until guns ensure the totals are real. Fair. Maybe if you're free sometime in the near distant future, we can video call. It will be good to catch up outside the podcast. I'd be interested. This next week is probably going to be brutal because I'm getting ready for that second dry run. But sometime in that 2-week period after, not Friday coming, but next Friday, we can look at it. What else have we got? And Callum says it's been a while since he last checked Echelon. I've never actually heard of Echelon. Sorry, Upper Echelon. So, yeah. Oh, there's the link. Let me see. No, okay. I'll have to check that out later. If you can throw that in the comments, would be great, Blackout. Not a Bobcat pops in. Dry run, what I miss. Stormy and I are planning to do another pre-move-in dry run. Not this week, but starting next weekend. This is part of the reason I'm doing the 7 o'clock shorts right now. It's because I'm feverishly getting this shed ready so I can work in here for the rest of the summer once I come back. The plan right now is that I will go and spend 2 weeks over at Stormy's and see how well it works for me working while the kids are home. We'll see what happens. But it is a pre-move-in dry run. The second one. We did a week, month before last, if I recall correctly. I had holidays, but I had enough time punched that I felt like taking holidays. I usually take a holiday about once every 3 months. I take a week off. I don't really like doing it because I feel like I'm going to lose subs every time I do it. Let's see. Callum says he hates summer. It fucks up his body clock, and he's got to go outdoors during midday when the sun's out. He burns easily. You burn easily? Things are getting serious. Things have been serious for quite some time, Bobcat. They're just getting honestly serious at this point. Now, I need to get this thing off of this table. So, I'm going to add to the clutter on the other table. And that chisel can go back over here. Ow! By the way, if you guys hear me go ow, but I don't immediately start swearing, I haven't actually done myself harm. I'm just avoiding swearing by saying ow. And I've got a bunch of project ideas I need to put in safe places for the moment. Okay, this goes with this. I'm thinking about turning, I have a glass cutter that Stormy picked me up for, I think it was Christmas. And what I'm planning to do is cut this, depending on where I have to cut it, in such a way that I can turn it into a planter or vase. But that gets out of the way for the moment. Oh, that's not very good. Okay. That is empty as far as I know. No, not empty. Oh, definitely not empty. That's a torch I'm planning to use for doing some more of the Japanese wood burning style. Okay, you guys can't really see that there. Let me see if I can move this piece out and turn it so you can see it in the light. Okay, I'm just going to pull it down to do that. So this is a test burn I did to see how it turned out. And it's just a light scorch to get some parts of the grain to darken. It's not exactly the same as the Japanese. I want to say Sasuke, but I don't think that's right. Style. It may be Senboku or something as well. There's two different styles which have two different words for them. But basically what you do is you completely sear or completely char the outside, one edge. And what I do is do the char, and rather than put a clear coat over the charring, or just leave the char and kind of polish it a bit, what I do is take it down until I'm back to at least some bare wood or some regular wood. These spikes, you guys have seen these before. That's what I'm talking about doing, is basically do a full char over the entire surface and then rub it off. There's no finish on this at all. There's actually, that's a bit of a lie. There's a bit of a test finish piece right there. But I put no finish on this at all over the course of the winter. These were out here through freezing and humidity and everything else. And there's not a bit of checking. There's no warp. Everything is aces with this. So, and this is juniper. Juniper is a fairly hard wood. There's a lot of salt in this. At least that piece of juniper is fairly hard because of where it was from. Let's see. Crow says he got burned sitting at a barbecue with friends in Britain. Yeah. The UV is what matters more than anything else. If the UV is high, you're going to burn. Blackout says he's going camping this weekend, so he's going to miss some content. Views have been absolute garbage lately. That's a shame because you're doing really good work. Callum is man after everyone's heart. He wants to know what the food at the barbecue was: chickens, burger, steak, hot dogs, burgers, chicken wings, and legs. I Don't really care for a grilled burger. I like them fried. But a nice grilled hot dog or sausage smothered in barbecue sauce and then crisped, it's really good. Anyway, we talked about this, so this can get put out of the way again. If I can find somewhere safe. And by safe, I mean somewhere where it won't fall over or get jostled in such a way that it might explode. I know, it's most likely not going to explode, but I take chances. My water bottle I'm going to hang up somewhere where I can find it again. There we go. I need to clear off this piece. Oh, that goes in that drawer. That one is garbage. This one still has some life in it. So that'll get chucked there. This is one of my 2 oscillating tools. I have 2 because Stormy had one that she didn't need. That's this one. It's in a bit of beaten up condition, but it seems to be more powerful than the one that I had initially. So I'm always happy to take new tools. Or new to me, anyway. There we are. And let's get this rolled up and put away. Not quite sure where I'm hanging this thing yet. That's another project that I have to do. I have to build a tool wall because I'm slowly acquiring more and more tools, and putting them in the cabinets is not really a good choice anymore. I'm thinking what I might do is actually end up taking that metal cabinet off the wall altogether, possibly mounting it on one of the doors. Actually, that definitely won't work because that's way too wide. Okay, let's just put you down somewhere. Okay. Whew. Getting there. A bunch of extra screws and hooks. They're in serviceable shape, so I will keep them. Because I have such... Rarely do I have call for screws, so I'll just put them in the tray of random screws. Okay, that piece of 2x4 wants to fall over, so that's going to go there. We'll get sorted out. That piece of 1x4 is trying to jump as well. Okay, you know what? I'll keep it fall over there. There we go. Okay, a bunch of scraps. Various states of damage. These are meant to be in there. That's part of a 4-piece jig that I have. That, I think this is a failed project that didn't work out the way I planned. But because I now have a bandsaw, once I get it put together, I'm going to keep this just on the off chance that I will have use for it. So I think I was planning to make keychains out of that. Some shims, which will go in there. Some scraps will go down there. Machine board. My still unfinished bookshelf, or bookends rather. And again, you can see that I did the burn thing on these, and they came out very shiny. This is cedar, which actually seems to have gotten more aromatic since I left it out here. But it's going to be interesting to see how well this turns out once I have the opportunity to put this on the bandsaw, split them, turn them into actual bookends. And that's the third piece of what was 4. The fourth piece ended up falling to the floor, and because the grain was not quite the same as this, You see the grain here. If you drop this, this is not going to snap. But the grain on the other one had a waver in one piece and didn't respond well to being dropped on the floor. By didn't respond well, I mean went snap. That rag, that either needs to be cleaned or thrown out. Okay. Some of the rags I will keep. Even when they're dirty, I will clean them. Because, and I throw away almost nothing. One of the reasons I keep some pieces, or some rags rather, and clean them is because the texture of them is such that they give me a different finish than some other pieces. Piece of sandpaper I didn't know I had. And the old chain board, which has been chained intensely. That will sit there. Okay, now, the next thing I need to do is move this table. And this table is going to go over to that side. Excuse me. For now. Which means I need to move a bunch of stuff that I just put there out of that spot. This is not unlike one of those slidey tile puzzles. Let's see, what do we got? Blackout says his homie just showed up, he got a bounce. Aloha. Hopefully I didn't miss you too badly. What am I looking at for time? Timestamp says, oh, okay, 4 minutes ago. Let's see. Crow says he thinks he really needs a break, though. He doesn't feel excited when he wake up. Yeah, I mean, no, don't worry about being a bummer, dude. You know, sharing is caring. And, no pun intended. But, actually, that wasn't a pun. Never mind, I'm an idiot. But, you know, feeling down is something guys go through. It happens. Maybe you need to make a change for your life. Maybe you just need to make a small change. Who knows? Let's see. And exactly, like Callum said, hey, don't worry about it. At least you're venting about it and not bottling it. Very true. Supervillain origin story. End up on the news bombing the WEF. That's not a supervillain. If you're bombing the WEF, you're a freedom fighter. No, I'm just kidding. For the purposes of YouTube. I do believe Double at 22 just popped in. So I have to take my gloves off to check. Hi, Double at 22. No audio. You're talking about no audio. You probably just can't hear me because I wasn't being loud enough. Yeah, exactly, Callum. Bombing the WEF sounds like a hero story. The WEF and the Woo. Still no audio? I think you need to turn your sound up. Let me just check. Yeah, the rest of you guys can hear me okay, right? Okay. Crow says he can. Hang on 1 second. Can you still hear me the same when I stand back here? If you can't, give me a 1. If you can, give me a 2. Now there's audio. Okay. Maybe it was just a matter of the stream having to catch up or something. I am, as always, on shitty Newfoundland internet. Having a statue built in your honor of dying as a freedom fighter is awesome. Now I've already forgotten what those options meant. In any case, yeah. This thing needs to move, which means that thing needs to move, which means I need something to bind that cord with. Okay. That shouldn't even be there. I don't know where that came from. Okay. Let's see. Okay. You guys get to see me do some work anyway. Something that amounts to work like, anyhow. Really? I guess that's what I get for using that knife to fucking beat on things. There. Now, just so you guys can actually see me do something that looks like work. This is just nylon rope, so once it takes a bit of flame, there we are. Just melt it a little bit, put a little bit of something cooling. Spit is the best option. I don't know why. It's not the most sanitary option, obviously. But it does seem to work the best. I wonder I'm having trouble with that torch. That's better. When it comes to the melted nylon, you do have other options. You could do things like this. Just, oh. Helps when the channel locks will close. There we are. It's really just flattening the end so that it's, while it's still warm, it won't unravel and fall to pieces. Now, that should give me an effective knot once I get it tied. Now, it's just, I expect, a bit of a slip. No, I think I actually got it. Yeah, there we go, surgeon knot. Okay. And obviously I can't talk much with a piece of rope in my mouth. So you guys enjoy the quiet for a few seconds. And if you're not particularly experienced with tying knots, date some BDSM girls. You'll get used to creative knot tying in a hurry. Trust me. Okay, that'll do. Now, normally I wouldn't worry about tying up a cord that's that short. But on the off chance it ends up under my feet, the last thing I want to do is end up dropping a drill press on the floor and be out an $800 piece of equipment. Though I do intend to actually just drop this on the floor. It's going to be dropped on the floor in the corner where I want it, not randomly. If you want to be particular, you can actually remove the safety lock as well, but given that it's unplugged and I think that's upside down. Given that it's unplugged and depowered and has no bit in it, the odds of it actually starting up on its own are, well, billions to one. That said, I'm still going to lift the plate up till it touches the mandrel, or the collet, depending on how you want to term it, because I want that spot protected, just in case I do drop it. And I can lock that out as well if I choose to. Though I won't bother for this short trip. There we go. Okay, now, with that table cleared off, mostly, where is my dirty brush? Where is my dirty brush? There it is. I haven't actually seen this thing in a while. Oh, garbage can's right there. that's where that went. That is a piece of sandstone for marking. Really good for marking dark wood. See? You can usually get these in welding shops, which is actually where I got the few that I have. But when it comes to marking something like walnut or a burned piece of wood or pretty much anything darker, it's great. Crow says he really must show his process for me. Yes, absolutely, because people are going to be fascinated by that. I know I would be. For a while, I actually wanted to try jewelry making. But the one guy I approached about apprenticing under was, well, it was pre-diversity, but let's just say he was a diversity type. Now, I didn't clean this completely off because, well, I'm not that worried about it. But what I'm doing now, and I'm going to have to clean behind it anyway, but what I have to do now is move it slightly to the side so I can close this up. And yeah, while this is a proper woodworking table, it's a very cheap one that I got secondhand. And by cheap, I mean cheaply made as well. Let's see. Okay, let's do some more equipment Tetris here. Get that over there. That's back there. This table is going to have to come back over here at some point anyway, so I might as well do it now. Okay, good enough. And this end has to swing out. So I get behind it. The broom should be on this side, yes. Okay. Now, while I'm doing that, I can take the pieces that belong with it and put them up here. That's an empty box, which will get filled. Should have already been filled by rights. That goes there. Not a bad pile of junk for the winter. And I will be sitting down again in just a few minutes. If anybody... Come here, you bastard. Well, I'm not as small as I once was. That's for fucking sure. But I'm smaller than I have been, so that's a bit of a blessing anyway. Speaking of blessings, since we're on the topic, what's something you guys feel blessed for? Me, I'll take 2 feet in a heartbeat. You know, there's a surprising number of jello bar wrappers on my floor. Well, not that surprising if you take a good look at me, I suppose. Now we will bring this guy over here. This piece of plywood, or sheet material rather, needs to come out of there and get poked somewhere else. So I need a pair of gloves real quick. That's going to have to go over there, I think. Okay, for just a moment I have to unplug the tablet. I don't think I'll lose you guys, but if I do, I apologize. Oh, you're a bastard. Nope. You get to be a bastard. Let's see if I can aim this properly. Not break anything. Ooh, didn't realize I was hitting the tablet. Let's see. Do I have enough play to get that down there? Probably do if I move those pieces of wood. Okay, Mr. Door, that's behind that one. There we are. More or less perfect. Awesome. There we are. Okay. Whew. Okay then. Now, it is time for a sit down because that shit was heavy. And I am now sweating again. Which tells me, okay. Originally, this was a sliding shelf, which was falling into pieces. My plan was to turn this into some sort of cabinet. I still might, but that's a plan for another day. So this thing is going to go over by the door in the pile of I don't give a shit what happens to it stuff. There we are. Okay. Whew. One last quick sweep. Get some more stuff back under the other table. And I think I am pretty much finished for the evening. At least for the streaming portion of our program. Let's get that plugged back in. Still got 5 people watching and 12 likes. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if I say it as often as I used to, but I really do appreciate everybody who comes to my streams. Can I sit down there comfortably? I don't think I can. Let's try that. And my cigarettes. Moving. Back. Great job, YouTube censors lines. Shibari. I definitely did not say Shibari. Okay, now there is audio. There we go. If you buy a movie on YouTube, one day the movie will be free and automatically removed from your purchase list because it's public. Yeah, that's really fucking irritating. Especially considering they don't refund your money. And my water bottle, of course, is all the way over there. It is what it is. Oh, 14 likes and 5 watching. Thanks, guys. Jesus. Let's see. That was double at 22. Crow says he must... Oh, okay, yeah, I did see that before. Crow said he must really show his process for making rings. Absolutely. Even if you did it as shorts and did time-lapse, which will get your video editing skills, or keep your video editing skills informed. It's definitely something, and it will be attention-catching. Especially if you're doing something with some unusual metals, like, say, gold, or, well, not gold, not particularly unusual, but something unusual like rhodium, I think, is one of the more unusual ones. I don't know how hard that is to get or how hard it is to work. Yeah. Then the price will come back at a later time and won't reappear on your purchase list. Oh, nice. That's not cool. That sounds like a quick call to YouTube customer service and going, come here, fucker. Shibari. I don't know what Shibari is. and I'm going to have a look at it. And for the record, you guys are so far down the list now that you can't warn me before I see it. So let's see how my voice does. Shibari definition. Oh, that's not right. Give me sheberry, as in strawberry. I suppose I could have put on a Japanese accent, but there's only so many caricatures I can do. The artful use of twine to tie. Oh, okay, it's knotting. And it's a style of Japanese bondage. Let's have a look at that. Wow. It looks like you're using silk ropes a lot, which, you know, I'd advise. Using hemp on your woman is not a good choice, unless she's into that shit. In which case, well, that's between you and her. Let's see. Yeah, Double Odd 22's point is that on YouTube, if you buy a movie, you don't necessarily have it permanently. The amount of free movies one can find is impressive. Just on YouTube, yes. YouTube censored lines in movies which they did not produce for anti-white narrative. Of course they will. Double Odd 22 says, great job, brother. I'm not sure what that's about. Let's see. Crow says he's always been into the kink. Not the most conservative of folk. Yeah, in your own home, not in public, and certainly not on the back of a truck in the middle of San Francisco, beating another man across the buttocks in front of kids. That shit is sick. Let's see. Movies are for cigarette smoke and wood dust, right? Not sure. Cigarette smoke and wood dust sounds good. Interesting aesthetic, though. Let's see. Oh, Callum was apologizing for saying he was creeped out by Shibari. Let's see. Crow says he's on the Lotus Eater website. Probably the only person there that is actually down porn. Oh, done porn. Oh, okay. I don't think I'd have any interest in doing porn. From what little I know of the background of it, it sounds incredibly labor intensive and pointless. Bleach is in. Any spiders? I haven't seen any. Hello, Bleach. Crow might marry you. Crow's breasts just aren't perky enough for him. He has standards. Wait, there's two of you now? That's cool. I've been doing labor at my place as well. Callum says Bleach says he's self-replicating. I mean, reproducing. Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. 4 shanks of argentium. That's silver alloy, if I remember right. And it fuses unlike normal silver. That's something I've been meaning to ask somebody who knows metals about. Is there a way to combine pure iron and pure silver? Either as an alloy or as a combination for either jewelry or what have you. Because I have a few chunks of pure silver, and pure iron is not hard to come by. And what I'd ideally like to do is make a blade out of them as a dagger or something, but I don't know if they'll even blend properly. Callum says he's watching my reactions. This is why reaction videos are a thing. The video he sent to Monkey Server. Connor has done prawn. Seriously? Not surprised. Desperation is as desperation does. Fair. Silver doesn't alloy to iron. I didn't think it did. I think you pretty much had to have it alloyed into steel, but I didn't want to use steel. Yeah. Maybe I'll have to look into copper and silver or copper and iron or a combination of the three. Just a thing about the idea of pure metals or holy metals or mystically endowed metals. Yeah, left over from my pagan days and related to something I've written. Let's see. So you can't force metals together like they try in Rings of Power. Or just give me silver. Yeah. I'll give you silver. You give me citizenship. $200 Canadian worth of silver. Actually, that's probably not. But again, it was more for my own edification than anything else. And I may use it to do inlays and something one of these days. Let's see. What time is it? I've been on for 2 hours. It is now just about 9:30. Wow. I build your bunker project deal. Did someone say bunker? Some metals mix, some don't, says Crow. It's all about the composition. Silver, copper, and gold are precious and easily alloy. Yeah. Iron being ferrous, I think, is part of the reason it doesn't. Argentium uses added germanium, making it uber-based. Yeah. Uber-based, yeah. It's Dieter's metal. Oh my. I need to get that bottle of water. I'll be right back. Ow. The handle on that woodworking table is in a very unfortunate position at this point. That's going to have to be altered. Okay. Let's see. Stoltz monotony. Stay hydrated. This is a threat. Yeah. It's an extremely good idea to stay hydrated all the time. The older you get, the more that becomes important. Trust me, because if, and I'm sure some of you guys did see the antics I got up to, or at least hear the antics I got up to on Sultans during the drunk stream a couple of weeks ago. I was drinking water while I was drinking the alcohol. Part of the reason why I didn't wake up with a hangover, because I have eaten very salty snacks before bed and woken up with what amounts to a hangover. Woken up dehydrated, basically, with a massive headache. Crow says, exactly. Pets the bobcat. And hello, darling, from Stormy. Hi, baby. I'm just about done, I think. Just to show Stormy the difference, since she's more familiar with the shed than the rest of you. That's what I've accomplished so far. I've got some organization done. I've still got a fair bit to do, but yeah. Crow says, oh, finally I'm done. I wasn't forcing you to stay, Crow. If we play a blank-containing game of Cards Against Humanity on Sultans, there is no way in hell I won't commit a hate crime. My personal preference would be to have a oh, he meant finally a woman. That's true, yeah, there hasn't been a single girl in there so far. 5 watching, 15 likes. Thanks, guys. You're all really doing your part. Anyway, gentlemen, since my lovely girlfriend is free, and clearly the best woman ever, Stormy knows the shed, otherwise known as the Love Shack. Oh God, I do love the B-52s. And Love Shack is a personal favorite. Let's see, only Crow. Yeah, okay, guys. I'm going to cut it off here. And I will probably do this again tomorrow night. Look for my 7 o'clock short again. And, yeah, Private Idaho is better for me. Okay. I'm not sure. There's a reference there I'm not getting. In any case, guys, like I say, I'm going to cut this off here so that I can spend a bit of time talking to Stormy before I collapse from exhaustion. No, Bobcat, we don't call it a Newfoundland fuck hunt. It's the Shaggin' Cabin. It is, in fact, a B-52 song, yeah. A Private Idaho, okay. I'll have to check that out. I don't know that I've ever heard it. My Own Private Idaho, is that how the song goes? Maybe I have heard it. I know that's a movie title. In any case, guys, like I said, I'm out of here. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again. Stop cutting me off in the middle of my close. Rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye. And yes, YouTube, I would in fact like to stop streaming. Thank you very, very much.